Ms. Courtney, you got a copy of the calendar?
All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Judge Law, and good morning, Ms. Lewis. And
Morning.
I was our court reporter and courtroom 2. Good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Okay, good morning. And Mr. Masarjadin is all by his lonely self.
We have Ms. Tucker here as well, just off camera to the right.
All right, thank you. Good morning. And what about the folks whose cases we're going to be addressing?
Your Honor, I'm about to put him out.
Okay. All right, folks, just wait. Any announcements that are different from the one that Mr. Masarjadin sent in this morning?
I believe Whiters 47. I had that initially listed as need to see. That is going to be a reset. I believe for 1 week or whenever is convenient for the court. He's being held on other matters as well.
All right. Miss Lewis, next Thursday, is that good?
The 17th?
Yeah.
Yes, that'll be fine.
All
That's
right.
for position 47?
Correct.
Yeah.
Tedrick Whiters.
Here.
All right. So we'll just be in a brief recess until the deputy has everyone in courtroom 2. And I'll be
I
right
just
with
want
you.
to ask, Judge, I want to ask the PD a question and
Go ahead.
yeah.
I just want to make sure my Odyssey is up and running. So go ahead and do
Okay.
what you need to do.
I was asking the PD, did y'all get the email regarding about position number 13? I think there's some issues with his identification of who he is because he's in jail as Carl Boyd, and then they have Davenport, and somebody say he's released. He's not released.
I was told he was released, so I don't think anyone has seen Davenport. But we had Daryl Davenport.
Hold up, he has an alias name.
Okay,
AKA. And I sent an email out to Mr. White and Mr. Haddad. I did not know who else to send it out to. Also to Ms. Falk. We need some clarification of his identity because he's listed, these cases are associated with two different names and two different date of birth. And the
okay.
person that's in jail is associated as Davenport as Carl Boyd.
Carl Boyd, CARLBOYD.
Yeah, position number 13.
Okay. And so is there a person named Daryl Davenport or this is the same person?
There is I guess he go by two names.
Okay. Well, no one has talked to him. I don't know if the jail can bring him down. We can try and talk to him or if we need to reset him. We're saying that position 13 is under a different name or alias, Carl Boyd. We had him as released, so no one went and saw him. Okay,
The
so
booking number underneath there is associated with the person is in jail is 250. The booking number is correct. He is still incarcerated.
So I'm showing Carl Boyd was released yesterday.
He got released yesterday.
7/9. He had a failure to appear. He was
Mhm.
arrested on 7/2 and released on 7/9. And under his name, it says wrong person.
Huh. I asked that question yesterday. You saw my email late yesterday?
I will say it looks like he got released at 2:17 p.m. So it may have been after you sent the email.
Yeah, because I was sending that because I was like shaking my head. Who is this?
Yeah.
The date of birth, everything did not match up. And they had his name associated with Davenport.
Right. So, and I'm looking at the pictures of, let's see, go to look at Daryl Davenport. It's not the same person.
Okay.
So, yeah, it looks like they just mixed up your defendants, or mixed up, not your defendants, the defendants.
Yeah, that was my question, my main question yesterday when I was combing through the calendar. I was like, this is not matching up. And I know I sent the email out, I think it was close to 5 o'clock yesterday.
Yeah. Okay.
So pretty much, well, I guess we want to deal with him since he's out of jail. So
Correct.
I think they're gonna have to.
Both Carl Boyd and Daryl Davenport, whichever name he goes by, both are released currently.
Yeah, but I think they're still going to get straightened out in the matter because they are associating both of those cases to him as Davenport. And I don't want him to get picked up again or as the wrong person again.
No, I understand. The only way they're going to be able to unsort this is fingerprints.
Okay.
Whenever we've had this issue come up, they have to link him with the fingerprints.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Courtroom 2, are we ready?
yes, Judge.
Thank you. Good morning, folks. My name is Judge Lal, and I am going to be addressing the Fulton State All-Purpose Calendar today. These are cases which have already been accused, misdemeanor cases which have already been accused. And today we're going to get the status of the case in terms of how would the defendant like to proceed with his or her case. So essentially, it's a plea and an arraignment calendar in which we will also address other matters such as bond modifications and bench warrants. If you are a defendant charged with one or more misdemeanor offense, please remember that you have a right to remain silent. Anything that you say in open court, your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to represent you. Please remember these rights as we address each of your cases on a one-on-one basis. So who shall we begin with, Deputy?
We can go to position 1, Mr. Powell.
Okay,
I'm sorry, add-on 1.
add-on position 1, and I think that's the only add-on we have today.
Did someone come to you? No.
What?
I don't know what anyone's talking.
All right.
Okay.
Mr. Masarjadin, is this your client?
It's my understanding Mr. Powell is a private attorney.
Sorry,
Christopher
did we say
Upshaw.
Shamarcus Powell? Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Upshaw. Could you have your
Hi.
video on so your client can see you?
Yes, I'm about to turn that on, Judge. I got behind a bad wreck on 285. I just parked at my office, so
Okay.
I have a new plea offer. If there's an ability to get into a quick breakout room with Mr. Powell, so I can discuss that with him, but I expect to do a plea on that case this morning.
All right. Deputy, how can Attorney Upshaw speak with his client?
You will have to call for him too.
All right. Could you put the phone number in the chat directly to participant Doc Upshaw?
If he could just send us his number, so when the phone gets available, we can go ahead and put him on.
Mr. Upshaw, if you can use your chat feature,
Yep.
just put your phone number to participant courtroom 2.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Next case, courtroom 2.
Position 44, Mrs. Scott.
Mr. Masajidin, what are we doing in this case?
For Mr. Scott, Your Honor, we have a non-negotiated plea.
All right. And what is the non-negotiated part?
Just, Your Honor, asking that Mr. Scott not be asked to serve any more time. He's currently credited with 14 days and asked to be served 60. So I believe that would be 16 more days for him to serve. We'd ask for him to not have any more time to serve, be released on probation,
All right.
with all of the conditions remaining the same. And that is especially in light of Mr. Scott's myriad of medical conditions. He also has a meeting with an official from disability to help him finish the application and qualify coming up in a month.
All right, let's begin then. This is James Scott, case 25 CR 3637B. And Mr. Scott's accused of criminal trespass causing damage to property and simple battery from May 3rd, 2024. Mr. Scott, you've been advised of your rights. Could you please raise your right hand for the plea? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Oh.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Falk, what is the state's recommendation for this gentleman?
Good morning, Your Honor.
Oh, sorry. Good morning, Ms. Harrison. Yes, what is the recommendation?
The state's recommendation for Mr. Scott is 12 months probation, served 60 days, credit for time served 14 days. The defendant has been incarcerated since June 27th of 2025. The balance will be probated. No further contact with Stratman Marsh, and stay away from 400 block of Bolton Road Northwest. We are also asking for an MHET or a BHET and completion of 40 hours of community service. And he's charged with count 2, simple battery. The state's recommendation is 12 months probation, concurrent with count 1. Your Honor, briefly to put the facts of the record on the case, officers were dispatched to 491 Bolton Road in reference to vandalism. When they got there, they met with the victim, Mr. Stratman Marsh, who stated that the defendant assaulted him due to a dispute over construction work. Mr. Marsh was supposed to do the construction. Mr. Marsh stated the defendant was supposed to do the construction work for him, and he did not like the finished product, and he did not want to pay. After an altercation, he stated that he would pay, but he was assaulted by the defendant by being slapped in the face and punched in the chest, and throwing a log into his car window, causing damage to the car. That'll be all for the state.
All right. Mr. Arjudin, I've already heard your argument with regards to the non-negotiated part, and I'm going to grant the defendant's request. It would be, so he served 14 days, so I'm going to amend it to serve 28 days, credit for time served 14 days, and he would have to immediately report to probation, including to stay away and have no contact with Stratman Marsh, and stay away from 491 Bolton Road. If he has any issue with regards to unpaid work, he would need to file a civil case 1 year from now.
Understood, Your Honor. I just also want to praise the court that Mr. Scott has 2 holds, one out of Gwinnett and one out of Clayton County, so that he's not asked to report from probation, immediately tomorrow. But that one,
he'll have to report within 48 hours of being released from both those locations. All right. Is that acceptable, or would you like to go to trial?
no, Judge, that we graciously accept.
All right. On the, Mr. Scott, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol recently?
No,
Howard.
medication, that's my high blood pressure, I'm diabetic.
Okay. After consuming that, are you still able to understand your attorney and what's going on in your case?
Yes, Your Honor.
And are you satisfied with your legal services?
Yes, Your Honor.
And has your attorney explained to you that if you decide to plead guilty to these charges, you will have to give up your right to a trial? You will not go back to court to confront your accuser, challenge evidence that'll be brought against you, to be able to present your legal defenses and arguments, and the prosecutor won't have to prove the charges beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yes,
How do you plead to one count of criminal trespass causing damage to property and one count of simple battery?
yes,
Your sentence for the trespass is going to be 12 months to serve 28 days, credit for time served 14 days. As far as your jail time for this case, that would be concluded, and either Gwinnett or Clayton County will have to come pick you up. And as soon as you've resolved your holds, you would need to report to Fulton County Probation within 48 hours. If you do not report, we will issue a probation warrant and you'll be right back in jail. Do you understand?
yes, Your Honor.
All right. While you, once you've completed your holds and you are on Fulton County probation, you will have to make sure that you have no contact with Stratman Marsh for at least 1 year, and you're to stay away from the 401 Bolton Road in Northwest, 200 yards away. So it'll be the entire 400 block at Bolton Road. You cannot be seen anywhere near that location. Within 30 days of reporting to probation, you will then undergo either a MH evaluation or a BH evaluation. Your probation officer will explain to you what that means unless you already know what that is. Has your attorney explained that to you?
No,
Refresh his memory, Mr. Masarjudin, if you want to mute.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. So do you know what that is now, Mr. Scott?
yes, Your Honor.
All right. So within 30 days of being on Fulton County probation, you must show proof that you've made an appointment for an MH or BH evaluation. The option's up to you, but one of them must be done. And you're also to complete 40 hours of community service with any nonprofit agency. It cannot be a church and it cannot be a school. So you can go to Veterans Society, you can go to Animal Care, you can go to Goodwill Salvation Army. It just cannot be a church and it cannot be a school. And you must do your community service at a minimum rate of 5 hours per month until all 40 hours are done. For count 2, it will be 12 months concurrent with count 1. 12 months probation concurrent with count 1. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Next is position 42 and 43, Mr. Pierce. Scott, you can wait. Sorry.
Did you say 42 and 43?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Should be a negotiated.
All right. Mr. Cornell Pierce is cases 25 CR 325A, accused of loitering and prowling from January 17th of this year. And second case is 25 CR 3632A, theft by taking and willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer from June 26th of this year. Mr. Pierce, you've been advised of your rights, and this is going to be a negotiated plea. Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Ms. Harrison, what's the recommendation for both cases?
Yes, Your Honor. For position 42, loitering or prowling, the state's recommendation is 12 months probation, served 32 days, credit for time served 16 days. The defendant was incarcerated January 19th through January 20th of 2025, and then from June 27th. The balance will be probated, no further contact with Charlotte Battle, stay away from 1300 block of Pine Avenue, East Point. This is a global recommendation with position 43. The state's recommendation in position 43 is count 1, 12 months probation, served 28 days, credit for time served 14 days. The defendant has been incarcerated since June 26th. Balance probated, stay away from Amoco gas station located at 1270 Cleveland Avenue in East Point. Completion of 40 hours community service and an anti-theft course for willful obstruction of law enforcement. State's recommendation is 12 months probation concurrent with count 1 and a $300 fine. And we ask that the defendant stipulate to venue ID and facts of the case for purposes of the plea.
And defense so stipulates for the purposes of the plea today, we just ask that Your Honor follow the state's recommendation for Mr. Pierce this morning.
All right. How does he plan to pay for his probation fees and his, what was that? The anti-theft class. He was on a $50 cash bond only. What are the plans to finance these issues?
Your Honor, Mr. Pierce does not have anything currently lined up. We would ask if he could just have a 2-month or 3-month period for him to get back on his feet in order to start paying those fees and fines.
All right, I'm going to give him 2 months, and he doesn't have any holes, right?
I don't believe so, Your Honor.
All right, so we will, I'll give him a waiver of probation fees for the month of, what's this month? July and August. And September 1st onwards, he must start paying his probation fees and show an active commitment to completing most of these conditions. Otherwise, if he gets arrested again, make sure he brings $50 cash with him next time, because that's going to be his bond.
Understood, Judge. Thank you.
All right. So does your client accept the terms, and do you stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID?
Defense so stipulates, Your Honor.
Okay. On Mr. Pierce, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol recently?
No, ma'am.
And have you understood what's going on in your cases?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
And if you decide to plead guilty to these charges, you would have to give up your right to a trial for both cases. You will not be able to confront your accuser, challenge the evidence brought against you, be able to present your defenses, and the state won't have to prove the charges beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Mr. Pierce, how do you plead to loitering and prowling, theft
Yep.
by taking, and willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer?
Guilty.
Okay, I'll accept your plea. These are convictions, and please understand, I'm very serious. If you fail on probation, you're going to spend the remainder of the year in jail or in prison. I'm giving you 2 months free probation. You have over 13 arrest cycles, so trust me, you're not going to qualify for a signature bond, at least not from me. Do you understand, sir? I'm very serious.
Yes, ma'am.
I hope you're serious too. On the loitering and prowling, your sentence is going to be 12 months to serve 32 days, credit for time served 16 days. You'll report to probation on Monday before 3 p.m. While you're on probation, you're to have no contact with Charlotte Battle and stay away from 1300 block of Pine Avenue in East Point, Georgia. That's 200 yards away, so stay completely away from Pine Avenue. For the theft by taking and willful obstruction, count 1 is going to be 12 months to serve 28 days, credit for time served 14 days, balance probated. Again, report to probation on Monday before 3 p.m. In this particular case, you will have to stay away from the Amoco gas station at 1270 Cleveland Avenue in East Point. You will also have to do 40 hours of community service at a minimum rate of 10 hours per month. Since you have probation fees waived for the first 2 months, I'm sure you can spend the time to do community service at a minimum rate of 10 hours per month. And you can do that at any nonprofit agency except a church or a school. You're also to enroll in an anti-theft class, and this anti-theft class must be completed within 120 days of reporting to probation. For count 2, it will be 12 months concurrent with count 1, plus a $300 fine. And you will start paying that fine within 120 days of being on probation, and you will pay that fine at a minimum rate of $50 per month. So what that means, Mr. Pierce, is that you cannot sit on your laurels. You cannot afford to waste your time. You need to get a job right away and start paying your probation fees and your fine. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
I think it's CDC.
Okay.
You haven't seen them this year.
Good morning, Judge Law. I have
Good morning.
position number 1, Ms. Argo, and also if you can please read their rights.
Okay, thank you, Deputy Principal. Okay. Good morning. I'm addressing ACDC, and my name is Judge Law. This is going to be an all-purpose calendar with the State Court of Fulton County. It's essentially a plea and arraignment calendar. Basically, it means I need to know how you would like to proceed with your cases after it's already been accused. Please remember that you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say during this virtual proceeding, that's not only being recorded and live streamed, your statements that you make without the benefit of counsel can also be used against you in the treatment of your case. You have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to represent you. Sonia Argo is accused of criminal trespass, and this was from June 26th of this year. Her accusation is 25 CR 3602G. Ms. Argo, you've been advised of your right. You're represented by Mr. Nisar Jadin. May I place you under oath for your plea? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Ms. Falk, what's the recommendation?
Your Honor, the recommendation is 12 months served 28 days, credit for time served 14 days from June 27th, 2025 until today. Balance suspended. Stay away from the Chevron gas station located at 639 Morosco Drive, Northeast in Atlanta. We do ask the defense to stipulate to venue, factual basis, and identification for the purposes of this plea. That's all for the state.
And Your Honor, defense so stipulates, that is our understanding what the state's offer was, and we ask that Your Honor follow the state's recommendation this morning for Ms. Argo.
Ms. Argo, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol recently?
No, ma'am.
And have you understood what is going on in your case and the terms of the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you satisfied with your attorney?
Yes.
If you decide to plead guilty today, you would have to give up your right to a trial. You will not be able to go back to court, confront your accuser, challenge the evidence brought against you, and the prosecutor won't have to prove the charge beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead to one count of criminal trespass at the Chevron gas station?
Guilty.
Your sentence is 12 months to serve 28 days, credit for time served 14 days, balance suspended. That means this case will be closed, but you are on notice that you cannot return to that gas station at, 639 Morosco Drive. If you are seen at the gas station, at the sidewalk belonging to the station, its parking lot, or anywhere near it, you could be arrested again for trespass, and we get to do this fun stuff all over again. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Your Honor, we can go back to the add-on position number 1.
Okay.
Morning again, Your Honor. I just spoke with Mr. Powell. I received some plea paperwork from Ms. Falk just a moment ago, so I think I probably just need to print that out and sign it. I can do that now or do that after the plea, whatever the court prefers.
Okay. And does your client provide you with authority to sign on his behalf?
Yes,
And you've gone over all the terms and he's in agreement?
that's correct, Your Honor.
Okay. Please make sure that after the plea hearing that you complete the documents and email them back to Miss Katrina Lewis.
Okay.
That is Katrina with a C. Lewis, Lewis. I think you can see her on the participants, and her email should be in
It's in the chat.
I've got it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
This is State versus Shamarcus Laquan Powell, case number 25 CR 3430C. Mr. Powell has been advised of his right to remain silent. His attorney is Mr. Upshaw. Mr. Powell is accused of 1 count of battery, family violence, 3 counts of simple battery, family violence, and criminal trespass from May 6th of this year under accusation 25, well, you read the accusation number. But Mr. Powell, for purposes of the plea, may I place you under oath? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge? You need to speak up.
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Falk, what's the recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor. The state's recommendation is to count 1 is 12 months served 60 days, credit for time served 3 days from June 18th to June 20th of 2025, balance probated, FVIP, 40 hours of community service, no further violent contact with Anisha Britt, stay away from 5474 Oakley Industrial Boulevard, which is the park at Oakley, and no firearms. Counts 2 through 4 will merge with count 1. Count 5, the state will be entering a null process as a part of this plea. We do ask the defense to stipulate to venue, factual basis, and identification for the purposes of this plea, and we would like to sound for Anisha Britt. We did speak with her last week, Your Honor, when this case was set on the calendar originally, and she did state she agreed with the plea. She just wished to have a no further violent contact, which the state did incorporate as part of our plea agreement. That's all for the state.
Do they share children?
They do not.
Okay. Mr. Upshaw, are these the terms which your client has agreed, and do you stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID?
Venue, factual basis and ID, yes, Judge, stipulated. One thing I do want to try to clarify, Mr. Powell has been incarcerated since 6/18 when he was arrested on this case. And Ms. Falk, this is my fault for not mentioning this, but obviously he's still in custody in Rice Street. What happened is his family posted bond, and then, but he's still in Rice Street, I think, because there's some sort of hold. And so I would just ask if we can just say credit for time served from 6/18 through present, because even though technically that bond was posted, and I guess he's not still being held pursuant to these charges, he is still in Rice Street as a result of these charges. So I would ask that we can write it up that way so that he's not held in Rice Street any longer than is necessary.
And Your Honor, unfortunately, the jail is not going to give him credit for time he was not serving on these charges. I did see that he bonded out, which is why the state gave him credit for 3 days. He's being currently held on a parole violation. That is completely up to the jail, but I know before we have had issues with the jail saying, well, he wasn't in jail on these charges. We're not going to give him credit for time served. He wasn't in jail for the charges on.
So when did he post bond for these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 charges? He had a $9,000 surety bond. Are
Correct.
you saying that he posted bond and then he found out he had a parole hold?
He posted bond on the 20th. I'm not sure when he found out he had a parole hold, but the bond posted for him on all of these charges on the 20th of June, 3 days after his arrest.
That's
and
correct.
subsequently, he's only been sitting in jail on a parole hold.
All right. And Mr. Upshaw, what's the status of this parole hold? When are you going to go back to state board to argue the hold?
Judge, his parole sentence maxes out on September 21st. And I've been speaking with his parole officer about that, who's out of the Coweta circuit, which is down closer to my office in Newnan. So I'm expecting that this is just going to be a max out on the parole as a result of this conviction. So he's going to be remaining in custody probably
on the hold until September 21st.
That's my expectation, yes, Judge. And to be candid, part of the reason why the bond was posted was quite honestly to get him closer to home, to Coweta County. It's a little bit more pleasant.
But so right now, even if he completes the time that the state's requiring, how many more days does he have? Like, this is to serve 60, so it would be
27 more days.
27 more days. So he would have 27 more days at the Ritz-Carlton at Wright Street, and then the state board will come pick him up to finish out the rest of his parole hold. So it's either here or in Newnan, correct?
That's exactly correct, Judge. And again, you know, and for speaking with Mr. Powell, I would really strongly prefer that Mr. Powell be able to be incarcerated closer to home. And again, I know that's not the court's concern. It's not the state's concern, but in trying to, streamline things a little bit for my client, I would like if we can, because he's in custody, he's not getting out of custody. It's just a question of where is he physically. And so in order to try to effect that, I would ask, and again, Ms. Falk, this is my fault, I apologize, but maybe there's a way we can fashion a sentence that acknowledges he's going to remain locked up. Just a question of where it's going to be.
Mr. Upshaw,
Yes.
what we're talking about is geography for the time that he has to serve in jail. So I'm going to require him to serve the 27 days in Fulton County Jail. And then as soon as that's up, the state board will come and pick him up and bring him to, where did you say? Coweta?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And that's the way it's going to be. I'm not going to complicate these matters anymore. And I'm not
Yes.
going to try to direct the sheriff to, cut short his time at the jail so he can serve out the rest in time in Coweta.
Yes, Your Honor.
Our offenses in Fulton County, he'll serve his time and then he'll move on to Coweta and finish out his time for whatever occurred in Coweta County or where he had to be in prison.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, does your client still want to move forward?
Mr. Powell, do you want to talk for a minute, or did you follow all of that?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. All right. We'll proceed, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Powell, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol?
No, ma'am.
Could you put your hand down so we could hear you clearly?
Ma'am.
Thank you. And do you understand what's going on with your case in addition to the time that you need to serve at this jail and later in Coweta?
Yes,
And are you satisfied with your legal services?
yes,
You need to speak up a little louder, okay?
yes,
Thank you. And is anyone forcing or inducing you to take this plea today?
no,
Has it been explained to you that if you plead guilty to this charge of battery family violence, that if you are ever arrested again for a same or similar offense, that it can be a felony charge?
yes,
If you decide to proceed today, you will not be able to go back to court to have a trial by a judge or a jury. You will not be able to confront your accuser, challenge the evidence brought against you, be able to present your own legal arguments and defenses, and the prosecution won't have to prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
yes,
How do you plead to one count of battery family violence?
yes,
Your sentence is going to be 12 months to serve 60 days, credit for time served 3 days. You will serve out the remainder of the 26 days at the Fulton County Jail, after which you will then be picked up by the Coweta County authorities to serve out the rest of your parole hold. After you have completed your parole hold, you will report to Fulton County Probation within 48 hours of being released. While you are on probation with Fulton County, you will complete a domestic violence intervention program. You will enroll in that program within 30 days of being released, and you will complete all 26 classes at your expense without missing or skipping any classes. You will also complete 40 hours of community service with any nonprofit agency, but it cannot be a church and it cannot be a school. And you must complete the community service at a minimum rate of, at a minimum rate of 5 hours per month. At all times, you are to have no violent contact with Anisha Britt, which means that you can communicate with her and have contact with her if she wants to. There she is. Miss Anisha Britt,
Yes, ma'am.
are you satisfied with this sentence?
Yes, ma'am.
So, as I was saying to Mr. Powell, he can communicate and have contact with you as long as you consent to it. But if you don't want to have anything to do with him and you tell him to go away, he's required to go away. Also, you are to stay away from 5474 Oakley Industrial Road, which is the park at Oakley. While you're on probation, you're not allowed at that location. The simple battery family violence charges will merge into count 1, and the criminal trespass will be dismissed. That concludes your sentence. Anything else, Mr. Upshaw?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, please send the paperwork to Miss Lewis. She's been known to hound down attorneys with
Will
great.
do.
All right, thank you, sir. Have a good
Thank
day.
you, Judge. You too.
Haven't seen anybody. Your Honor, we can go to position number 11 and 12, Mr. Cox.
Okay. Was that Mr. Tucker's client or Mr. White? Cox is Ms. Tucker's? Okay, Ms. Tucker, good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor.
All right, and this is going to be an arraignment?
We're requesting a bond modification on behalf
Okay.
of Mr. Cox.
But in the meantime, is your client waiving arraignment and we're gonna further notice the matter to trial? Or it's going to depend on the bond?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that last part?
Is your client going to waive, is he pleading not guilty and going to further notice the case to trial? Or is that decision going to be held off until we decide bond?
Did you want to wait to decide?
I mean, I don't mind if he wants to do it either way.
Your Honor, it looks like the arraignment was already waived on this case on October 17th, 2024.
Okay. Yes, it
Your Honor,
was.
he wanted to enter a plea of not guilty.
He already has. There was a waiver of arraignment. I'm sorry, the case is pulled up a little slower on my end. But he filed a waiver of arraignment on October 17th, 2024. I don't know if the state has made an offer at the present time, but tell you what, let's just go to the bond and then afterwards you can decide how your client can decide how he wants to proceed. So
Yes.
Mr. Cox has got two cases, 24 CR 6861J, accused of battery from February 12th, 2024. And then he has another case, which is the bench warrant for failure to appear. And that was from April 16th, 2025, case 25 FTA 1278. This is a case assigned to Judge Diane Besson. It appears that he failed to appear at the jury trial calendar call on April 16th. Hence, his bond was forfeited. And so, Mr. Cox, you've been advised of your rights, and your attorney is Ms. Tucker. Yes, Ms. Tucker, he's got a $4,000 surety bond on his failure to appear. What are we doing?
Yes, Your Honor, we're requesting a modification on that bond due to him being incarcerated at the GDC at that time. He has been consistently incarcerated since October 24th, and we can provide proof of incarceration to the court. He has also provided me with proof of residency that he'll be able to return to upon making bond at 119 Old Airport Road, apartment 61. He's lived in the area for the last 3 years. He's completed his high school education. He's been employed at Jaw Lounge. He does have 4 children that reside in the area as well. And aside from him being incarcerated, he would have appeared in court. And so we are requesting a modification to that bond today.
Okay, he's got a hold in the city of Chambliss as well?
Yes, Your Honor.
What's that for?
I believe that's
Federally violation from 2022, but it was 2 years.
yes, that's a VOP hold.
That's a what?
Violation of probation hold out of
So he's got-
Chambers County.
Okay, and Miss Falk, do you have any indication that Mr. Cox was incarcerated elsewhere on April 16th, 2025?
No, I have not received any proof of incarceration, which is usually the practice of the defense when they're arguing that the defendant was continuously incarcerated elsewhere.
Miss Tucker, do you have that necessary proof to provide? Because I don't have anything.
Yes, I'll be able to send it over. You said you have that document. He does have that document, and I didn't have a chance to have my investigator send it yesterday because I left
Okay,
so
so
late.
let's be clear. You don't have documented documents to show that he was incarcerated
I'm able
elsewhere.
to that.
I'm sorry?
I said I'm able to obtain that, Your Honor.
Understood, but presently you don't have it.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And Mr. Cox claims that he does have documents to show that he was incarcerated elsewhere and that he was released from wherever he was after April 16, 2025. Is that what you're telling us?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Cox's next court date with Judge Besson is September 18th, 2025. I really cannot just take his word that he was incarcerated elsewhere. I wish I could. Or if he can tell me where he was incarcerated, maybe the prosecution can follow up and verify that.
Excuse me, Judge, that court date that you decided, that's the bond forfeiture date on the bond. That's not a current court date for him.
Oh, but doesn't he have an appearance with Judge Besson on September 18th at
That's the
9
bond
a.m.?
forfeiture. That's the bond forfeiture calendar.
Okay, and
That's
they
when the
want,
bond, that's the bond would be bond forfeiture based on what
okay,
a bond.
Mhm.
But
you're right.
once, if he reset, I'm pretty sure Judge Besson Law LM will schedule him accordingly.
Okay, thank you.
Correctional Training Center.
Albert's Correctional Training Center is the jail he said he's been held in.
Where?
In Forsyth, Georgia.
Forsyth, Georgia.
Okay,
I will say that the last time this came up, Your Honor reset it 1 week, and then the defense, once they had the paperwork, sent it to Your Honor and the state, and that resolved the issue. So that may be the best way to resolve this, since it doesn't look like anyone has any papers to show right now.
okay. Ms. Tucker, would we like to address this case next Thursday?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Hopefully we will have the documents and you'll share that with Ms. Falk or whoever's the ASG at that time. And we will reset these two cases to July 17th.
No, they're gonna.
And Mr. Cox, if you have family that can retrieve the documents that you were incarcerated elsewhere on April 16, 2025, I'm sure we'll be able to address that. In the meantime, y'all might also want to look into that Chambliss City hold and see what's that all about.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you.
I think I have just a couple more minutes. Alright. So, hey Denise.
You done with him? Okay, have a seat in the back.
Deputy, shall I go to ACDC or?
Oh, Your Honor, we're still here. You can go to position 41, Mr. Peterson. Cox.
Okay,
This way.
41.
Blue chair.
Armus Peterson is accused of simple battery from September 5th, 2024, case 25 CR 3636J. Mr. Peterson, you've been advised of your rights. Your attorney is Ms. Tucker. And with regards to Mr. Peterson, Ms. Tucker, how are we proceeding?
We have a negotiated plea.
All right. Mr. Peterson, please raise your right hand for the plea. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Ms. Harrison, what's the recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor, the state's recommendation is time served. 306 days credit for time served, 306 days is straight time. The defendant has been incarcerated since September 6th, of 2024. And we ask that the defendant stipulates a venue, ID, and facts of the case for purposes of the plea. And that'll be all for the state, Your Honor.
Ms. Tucker, do you so stipulate?
We stipulate for purpose of the plea.
Right. Mr. Peterson, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol recently?
No, ma'am.
Have you understood what's going on in your case?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Has it been explained that if you plead guilty to this charge, this will close out the case and you will not get the opportunity to have a trial to challenge this charge in a court of law? You will not be able to confront your accuser, challenge the evidence brought against you, and the prosecutor won't have to prove the charge beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead to one count of simple battery?
Yes.
Your sentence is going to be 12 months to serve 306 days, credit for time served 306 days, balance suspended. Thank you.
90 days is nothing too long.
Next, Your Honor, we can go to position number 36, Mr. Moore.
So it's 90 days from June.
That was 36, okay.
So that should be September,
Merge with count 2.
September the 1st. Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yes, Your Honor. There was a typo on this one for count 3 and 4, and we clarified it with the defense. So there will be the 12 months, served 60 days, credit for time served, and they'll merge with count 1, not count 2.
I'm not sure what to do.
Okay. All right. This is Prayer Moore, case 25 CR 3579C. Mr. Moore is accused of disorderly conduct and 3 counts of willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer from June 25th of this year. Accusation 25 CR 3579C. All right, Mr. Moore, you've been advised of your rights and your attorney is Ms. Tucker. Ms. Tucker, this is going to be a negotiated plea.
We're requesting a non-negotiated.
Okay. Then in that case, Mr. Moore, please raise your right hand for the purposes of the plea. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yeah. Yes.
What?
Yes.
Thank you. What's the non-negotiated part? Ms. Tucker, put your hand down.
3 months of the probation fees waived, the initial 3 months of the probation fees waived, so that he has the opportunity to obtain a job so that he's able to make the payments.
All right, that's not really something in dispute. I mean, I have the discretion to decide that. Anything else that is different from what the state's asking?
And we were requesting community service instead of the $300 in fines.
And Your Honor, those fines are statutorily required, so we will have to defer to the court's discretion.
Why can't Mr. Moore get a job and stop paying the fines during the term of probation?
Because I don't have ID.
Okay, sit up straight, push your hair back, and tell me what you just said.
I said because I don't have an ID.
You can still get a job. You can go to the state and ask for an ID.
I just didn't know where it was located.
I'm sure Ms. Tucker will direct you to the appropriate department to get a state ID. Do you live in Georgia?
I'm homeless.
What?
I'm homeless.
Well, you still get an ID. There are lots of resources where you can get an ID.
All right.
Okay. All right, Ms. Tucker. So I'll be glad to waive his probation fees for the first 3 months, which will be July, August, and September. How old is he? He is very young. He can figure out how to get a job. Now, what else is non-negotiated?
Otherwise, we will request that you take the state's recommendations.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So Ms. Harrison, this is a negotiated plea. What's the state's recommendation?
For count 1, Your Honor, the state's recommendation is 12 months probation, served 60 days, credit for time served 16 days. The defendant has been incarcerated since June 25th of 2025. The balance is probated. We were asking for an MHET, no further contact with Elisa Loberman, a stay away from 12th Street, Crescent Avenue. Count 2, 12 months probation concurrent with count 1, and a $300 fine. Count 3 will be 12 months probation, served 60 days, credit for time served 16 days. The defendant has been incarcerated since June 25th, which will be concurrent with count 1. And count 4 is 12 months probation, served 60 days, credit for time served 16 days. The defendant has been incarcerated since June 25th, concurrent with count 1 as well. We ask that the defendant stipulate to venue, ID, and facts of the case for purposes of the plea. And that'll be all for the state, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Tucker, after these discussions, does your client accept these terms and do you stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID?
We do stipulate to the facts for the purposes of the plea.
Okay. Mr. Moore, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol?
No. No.
Okay. And have you understood what's going on in your case?
Yes.
Are you satisfied with your attorney?
Yes.
And has your attorney explained to you that if you plead guilty to these charges, you would have to give up your constitutional right to a trial in front of a judge or a jury? You will not be able to go back to a court of law to confront those accusing you of these charges, to be able to challenge the evidence brought against you. Your attorney and you won't be able to present your legal defenses and arguments, and the prosecutor won't have to prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
No.
Okay, would you like to challenge these in a trial?
No.
Well, you either have to plead and give up your rights or preserve your rights and get your day in court to challenge these charges. Which one would you like to do?
I think I'll move forward with the plea.
All right. So those rights I've just explained to you, are you freely, willingly, and voluntarily giving up your constitutional rights to a trial?
Yes.
How do you plead to 1 count of disorderly conduct and 3 counts of willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer? Oh, sorry. Yeah, for 3 counts.
No.
So that just means the charges. So are you pleading guilty? So you just let them-
All right. Ms. Tucker, with all due respect, I'm looking at him on my big screen right now. Is he awake?
He is, Your Honor.
Does he understand what's going on?
Yes, he understands.
All right, Mr. Moore, I have to decide, excuse me, I have to decide whether you appear to understand what's going on, and I'm not convinced.
Yes, I understand.
How many charges are brought against you?
3.
Look up and stay up, Sophie.
3.
Ms. Tucker? Show him the charges.
You have 4 counts against you. It's for
Courtesy.
Ms. Harrison, how many cycles does Mr. Moore have?
so you have disorderly
If you could please unmute.
conduct. So you have 4 charges.
Yes, Your Honor. He has, oh, whoa, hold on, everybody disappeared. Yes, Your Honor, he has, 6 cycles, starting in 2024. Do you want to go through his criminal history briefly?
No, I just need to know whether he has been arrested before and gone through the process.
Yes, he has been arrested before and gone through the process, Your
Right.
Honor.
So, Mr. Moore,
Yes.
I don't want to lose patience with you. I know you've been in jail. I know you're tired and you want to get out. I understand that. But what you don't seem to understand is that if I am not convinced that you understand what's going on, I'm going to deny this plea and have this case reset for trial. You are currently in jail on a $2,500 surety bond for these charges, which tells me that this is not your first rodeo being in jail. So unless you want to take this seriously, I'm going to deny this plea because Ms. Tucker, I'm not convinced he understands how many charges he's got against him. And I don't think he understands that he's going to be on probation to complete these terms. I think I'm setting him up to fail at probation.
He understood when I met with him yesterday and I explained it. I think
It's not coming across.
the charges out to him. I read each charge out, the name of them. And when you said 3 counts, 4 counts. I think that confused him because I said disorderly conduct, willful.
Okay,
That's the way I communicated it with him.
all right. Ms. Karsha, do we need to speak with him?
No, Your Honor, I've sat here and I've seen him confer with his attorney, and he appears to understand everything that's going on. There may have been some confusion in the dialogue between the attorney and the client, but he right now appears to understand what's going on with his case.
I'm going to give this one last shot. And if he's not serious, then we can just go to trial with this case. Mr. Moore, you have 4 charges against you. The first one is for disorderly conduct. And then you have 3 additional charges for willful obstruction of an officer. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
How many charges do you have against you right now?
4.
Okay. You have spoken to your attorney. The resolution, if you want to plead guilty, is that you have to be on probation. You have to get a job. You have to pay a $300 fine.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
you have to do a MH evaluation and stay away from a person and stay away from a location.
Yes, ma'am.
That's your understanding.
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. So based on everything that do you now understand what's going on in your case?
Yes, I understand. I understood.
Okay. And after your discussions with your attorney and after I've explained to you what you would have, what rights you have to give up if you decide to plead guilty, are you willing to give up your right to a trial?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead to 1 count of disorderly conduct?
Plead guilty.
How do you plead to 3 counts of willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer?
Guilty.
Your sentence for the disorderly conduct is going to be 12 months to serve 60 days, credit for time served 16 days, which means that you have 14 more days to serve at the jail. After you have completed the 2 additional weeks at the jail, you will then report to the Fulton County probation within 48 hours of being released. While you're on probation, you are to have no contact with Elisa Loberman, and you're to stay away from 12th Street, Crescent Avenue in Atlanta, Georgia. Within 60 days of being released, you will also undergo an MH evaluation and submit to all treatment and medication that's prescribed. For count 2, it will be 12 months concurrent with count 1, and where you would have to pay a $300 fine. You would have to start paying your $300 fine within 90 days of being released. On count 3 and 4, it will be 60 days credit for times to serve 60 days, credit for time served 16 days, concurrent with count 1. I will waive your probation fees for July. Well, I will waive your probation fees for the first 3 months of probation. And then after that, you will need to make sure you start paying your probation fees and start paying your fine. So that means you will have 3 months of no probation fees to get yourself back on your feet, get a job, and start completing this sentence. Do you understand, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you.
Next, Your Honor, we can go to position number 23 through 25, Mr. Howard. Chair.
Mr. White, how are we proceeding with Mr. Howard?
Right.
Be a negotiated plea, Judge.
All right, thank you. Okay, he's got 2 cases and 1 bench warrant. All right. Mr. Montavious Howard has got 3 matters before the court. First case, position 23 is 25 CR 3589C, accused of theft by shoplifting from June 21st of this year. He's got position 24, which is a bench warrant for failure to appear in court on June 20th, 2025. And that would have been related to the next case I'm going to list, which is 22 CR 2475C, in which he had been accused of battery, family violence from April 25th, 2022. Mr. Howard, you've been advised of your rights. Your attorney is Mr. White. May I place you under oath for the plea? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge? I can't hear you.
I solemnly swear.
Thank you. Ms. Falk?
Yes, Your Honor. On the theft by shoplifting, the state's recommendation is 12 months served, 30 days, credit for time served, 15 days, from June 26, 2025 till today. Balance probated, 40 hours of community service, an anti-theft course, and stay away from the Family Dollar located at 3031 Main Street. On position 25 on the family violence battery, state's recommendation is 12 months served, 101 days, credit for time served, 55 days. That actually should be 110 days. Credit for time served, 55 days, from April 25th to June 7th, 2022, and June 26th, 2025 until today. Balance probated, FVIP, stay away from 1100 Irish Street Southwest in Atlanta. No further contact with Angelica Thomas. Position 24 will be null prost upon the taking of this plea. We did have an opportunity to speak with Miss Angelica Thomas. She stated she agrees with the plea. She no longer lives at that location, so we can actually delete the stay away, and the defendant does not currently know where she lives. So instead of a stay away from that location, we just ask to stay away from any of her residences. She also does not wish to attend the Zoom, so we will not be sounding for her. That's all for the state. We do ask the defense to stipulate to venue, factual basis, and identification for the purposes of the plea.
Okay, tell me, what about her place of work? Cause she worked in my auntie state.
Mr. White?
My auntie been in the place.
I didn't understand. I didn't understand what he said.
I'm saying that she works in my auntie apartment. My auntie been staying in the apartment way before she even started working in that location. So what about that part?
You need to stay away from her. If she's at your aunt's house.
She works in the same building with my auntie, where my relatives stay.
I heard you, but if she's there, you can't be there. You have to stay away from her.
But what if I'm there? She can't be there. But she'll be there. She'll attend those apartments when she not at work. And my family stay there.
Okay. Do you stay there?
No, but I visit my family.
Okay. You can't go when she's there.
What if she's not at work and she just hang around in the apartment? And I don't know, and I know she's there. Won't she be?
You cannot be around her.
I'm not stunned by being around. I'm not stunned by being around. I'm talking about my family.
I don't know how I can be any clearer. You have to stay away from her. If she's around your family, you can't be around your family that she's around. We went over this. You didn't have an issue when we talked about it.
But y'all even talking about me staying away from her.
Judge, if I could speak with him on the phone again, please. We'll come back to this case.
Certainly. Okay. So you have the jail court number. Next case, please.
We can go to position number 26 and 27, Mr. Hudson.
Is that your client too, Mr. White?
It is, Judge.
All right. Japheth Hudson is going to be a plea. Okay. This is Japheth Jerome Hudson, accused of theft by taking from September 13, 2021. And his case number is 21 CR 4863J. Mr. Hudson has a bench warrant, 25 FTA 1281 from May 8th of 2024. Mr. Hudson, you have been advised of your rights. Your attorney is Mr. White. May I place you under oath for the plea? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
I would.
Thank you. Ms. Harrison, what's the recommendation?
Your Honor, the state's recommendation for the theft by taken is 12 months probation, served 22 days, Credit for time served 11 days. The defendant was incarcerated September 13th through 14th of 2021 and subsequently from July 2nd of 2025. The balance will be probated. Completion of an anti-theft course, 40 hours of community service, and a stay away from flex drive services. The failure to appear, position 27, will be null pros upon taking of this plea, and we ask that the defendant stipulate to venue, ID, and facts of the case for purposes of the plea. And that'll be all for the state.
Mr. White?
So stipulated, Your Honor, we just accept the plea as negotiated. We would ask that his probation terminate upon completion of the requirements.
I don't have a problem with that. Ms. Harrison?
We have no problem with that, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Hudson, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol recently?
No, ma'am.
Have you understood what's going on in your case?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you satisfied with your attorney?
I am.
If you decide to plead guilty to this charge, then your opportunity to have a trial in this case will be gone. You will have to give that up. You will not get the chance to go back to a courtroom to face your accuser, challenge the evidence brought against you, and the prosecutor won't have to prove the charge beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead to one count of theft by taking?
Guilty.
Your sentence is 12 months to serve 23 days? No, 22 days. Credit for time served, 11 days. Your jail time is concluded, and if you have no other holds, you'll report to probation on Monday before 3 p.m. While on
Judge-
probation, yeah?
I'm sorry, Judge, he does have another hold, so he will not be able to report
Okay.
next week.
So once you are released from any other holds, then you will report to probation within 48 hours of being released. While you're on probation for this case, you will complete an anti-theft class within the first 90 days of being on probation. You will complete 40 hours of community service with any nonprofit agency at a minimum rate of 5 hours per month. You will also stay away from the business called Flex Drive Services, LLC. And the bench warrant will be dismissed. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Next, Your Honor, we can go to position number 17, Mr. Evans.
This is State versus Cameron Evans. Mr. Evans is accused of criminal trespass under 25 CR 3578E. Mr. Evans, you've been advised of your rights, and your attorney is going to be Miss Tucker? Or Mr. Evans is, yeah, Miss Tucker, right? Okay. And may I place you under oath, Mr. Evans?
Yes,
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. All right. You can put your hand down. Just remember that the microphone is a little distant from you, so you'll need to be heard. Thank you. Ms. Falk?
Yes, Your Honor. On the criminal trespass, the state's recommendation is 12 months served 30 days, credit for time served 15 days from June 26, 2025 until today, balance probated, stay away from Delow Village Apartments located at 2360 Delow Drive, 40 hours of community service, and either a social worker visit or BHET. We do ask the defense to stipulate to venue, factual basis, and identification for the purposes of the plea. That's all for the state.
I think so.
Ms. Tucker, is your client going to undergo a BHET?
We have requested a social worker visit. The social worker is present currently, so she'll be able to meet with him.
And if the visit indicates an evaluation, is your client willing to do that?
Are you going to undergo the evaluation? Yes, he is willing.
Okay. As long as he's in agreement. Okay, and do you so stipulate, Ms. Tucker?
We do stipulate for the purposes of the plea.
Mr. Evans, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol recently?
I'm in jail, so, no. No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Have you understood what's going on in your case?
Yes.
And are you satisfied with your attorney? All right, so Mr. Evans, somebody else is talking in the courtroom and you'll need to speak louder than that person, okay? Are you satisfied with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
If you decide to plead guilty to this charge, you would have to give up your right to a trial. There won't be an opportunity to confront your accuser, challenge the evidence in a court of law, and the prosecutor won't have to prove the charge beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead to one count of criminal trespass at 2360 Delow Drive?
Guilty.
Your sentence is going to be 12 months to serve 30 days, credit for time served 15 days, balance probated. You'll report to probation on Monday before 3 p.m. While on probation, you cannot return to the Delow Village Apartments, the entire apartment complex. You cannot return to that location at 2360 Delow Drive. You will do 40 hours of community service at any nonprofit agency that is not a church and not a school. You must do your community service at a minimum rate of 5 hours per month. All right, then you will have a social worker visit as soon as you've taken the plea. And if the social worker recommends that you either undertake a MH evaluation or a BH evaluation, you must take that evaluation within 90 days of being on probation. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And you will continue to report to probation at all times. Thank you.
Yes, Judge, we can do position number 6 and 7, Ms. Boyles.
Is Mr. White available?
That's my
Oh,
client.
that's you, Mr. Okay.
Oil.
Holly Nicole Boyles is accused of forgery in the 4th degree, position number 6. This is under accusation 22 CR 1024C from August 10th of 2019. She has a bench warrant for failure to appear in court on October 4th, 2024, case number 25 FTA 1277. Ms. Boyle, you've been advised of your rights. Your attorney is Ms. Arjudin. May I place you under oath for the plea? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes,
Thank you. Ms. Falk.
Ms. Falk, you're muted.
Please unmute.
Thank you. The recommendation is 12 months served, 202 days, credit for time served 101 days. From February 23rd to May 25th of 2022 and July 2nd, 2025 to today. Credit for time served, balance probated, anti-theft course, $300 fine, stay away from all BJs in Fulton County, and no further contact with Krista Lampley. On position 7, the state will be entering a null pros upon the plea to position 6. We do ask the defense to stipulate to venue factual basis and identification for the purposes of the plea. We would like to sound for Ms. Christina Lampley. That's all for the state.
Defense will stipulate, Your Honor, for the purpose of the plea this morning. We just ask that Your Honor follow the state's recommendation as negotiated.
Any objection to termination once she completes the condition?
Not from defense.
Ms. Falk?
None from the state.
Ms. Boyles, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol recently?
No, ma'am.
Have you understood what's going on in your cases?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you satisfied with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
If you decide to take this plea, you would have to give up your right to a trial in a court of law. You will not be able to confront your accuser, be able to present your defenses and arguments to challenge the evidence, and the state won't have to prove the charge beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead to one count of forgery in the 4th degree? Your sentence is 12 months to serve 202 days, credit for time served 101 days. If you have no other holds, you will report to probation on Monday. While you're on probation, you'll complete an anti-theft class, and that must be done within 90 days of being on probation. You're also to pay a $300 fine. Is that doable?
I do have a question about that. I'm on parole in Warner Robins, that's where I reside. Would that just go with that? These are all, my parole is all charges, all inquired with Miss Lansky. Like everything, all the charges were the same at the same time, but in different counties. So will my probation be separate from my parole? I just don't want to get anything wrong. I don't want to go back to jail.
Your probation is separate from your parole.
Okay.
Do you have a parole hold?
I don't have a parole hold, no, because this was something that happened before I got on parole.
So going back to my original question, is the $300 fine doable?
I might need a little time to get it, but yes, I can pay fine.
Okay. So it's a $300 fine. You're also required to stay away from all BJ warehouse stores in Fulton County. Okay. And no further contact with Krista Lampley.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Once you have completed your anti-theft class, once you have paid off your $300 fine and you're up to date with your probation fees, your probation will then terminate. So the only thing left on your plate will be your parole matters. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Best of luck.
Thank you.
The bench warrant's dismissed.
Next, Judge, I have positions 2 and 3. Well, it's actually 2 through 4, Bailey.
Okay. This is State versus Taylor Bailey, accused of theft by shoplifting from March 9th, 2019. Case 20 CR 301F. Accused of another count of theft by shoplifting and criminal trespass from May 11th, 2024. In case 24 CR 5898F. And she has a bench warrant from June 2nd, 2025, 25 FTA 1270. Ms. Bailey, you've been advised of your rights, and your attorney is going to be Mr. Masarjuddin, and this is going to be a plea. Please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge. Yes or no? Okay.
Yes.
Ms. Folk?
Yes, Your Honor. On the theft by shoplifting charge, position 2, state's recommendation is 12 months served, 30 days, credit for time served, 12 days from November 30th, 2022 to June 5th of, on November 30th of 2022 and then June 30th, 2025 until today. Balance probated, stay away from Ladies Foot Locker located at 2841 Greenbrier Parkway Southwest in Atlanta, $500 fine, anti-theft course, and 40 hours of community service. Position number 3, theft by shoplifting is going to be 12 months served, 45 days, credit for time served 14 days. That will be from August 21st to August 23rd of 2024 and then June 30th of 2025 until today. Balance probated, $500 fine, stay away from the Sephora located at 650 North Avenue Northeast in Atlanta. Count 2, the criminal trespass, will be 12 months concurrent with count 1. Stay away from Ponce City Market located at 650 North Avenue. And on position number 4, the state will enter a null pros upon the taking of these pleas to the failure to appear. We do ask that the defense stipulate to venue, factual basis, and identification for the purposes of the plea. That's all for the state.
And Your Honor, defense so stipulates for the purposes of the plea, that is our understanding what the state's offer was. We just asked Your Honor to follow the state's recommendation from Ms. Bailey this morning.
Ms. Bailey, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol recently?
No.
And have you understood what's going on in your cases?
Yes.
And are you satisfied with your attorney?
Yes.
And are you entering this plea freely, willingly, and voluntarily?
Yes.
Has it been explained to you that if you have 3 prior theft by shoplifting convictions on your record, the 4th arrest can be a felony charge.
Yes.
Are you still willing to move forward?
Yes.
Did your attorney explain to you that if you decide to plead guilty, you would have to give up your right to a trial in front of a judge or jury? You will not get the chance to confront your accuser, be able to present your legal arguments, defenses, and challenge the evidence brought against you. And the prosecutor won't have to prove the charges beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yes.
How do you plead to theft by shoplifting from March 9th, 2019?
Yes.
Your sentence is 12 months to serve 30 days, credit for time served 12 days, balance probated. If you have no other holds, you'll report to probation on Monday. You will stay away from the Ladies Foot Locker at 2841 Greenbrier Parkway, pay a $500 fine, complete an anti-theft class, and do 40 hours of community service. The fine must be paid at a minimum rate of $50 an hour. The anti-theft class must be completed within 90 days of being on probation, and the community service must be done at any nonprofit agency that's not a church and not a school, and at a minimum rate of 5 hours per month. For your second case, how do you plead to theft by shoplifting and criminal trespass from May 11th, 2024?
Guilty.
For count 1, it's going to be 12 months to serve 45 days, credit for time served 14 days, which means that you have additional time to serve at the Fulton County Jail. I don't know how many days that would be. Anybody?
About 7 days, Your Honor, 7 or 8 days. So I'm not sure if they round up or down because it's an odd number, 45.
Okay. So, Ms. Bailey, according to this, you will have to serve an additional 8 days in jail. Is that your understanding? Sorry? Yes or no?
Yes.
All right. So for the second conviction for theft by shoplifting, you'll be serving an additional 8 days, which means that once you've completed that additional jail time, you'll report to probation within 48 hours of being released. And Ms. Falk, is this an additional $500 fine? Or is this
Yes, Your Honor.
additional? Okay. So this will be an additional $500 fine, and stay away from the Sephora at 650 North Avenue in Northeast Atlanta. For the criminal trespass, that will be concurrent with count 1. And of course, stay away from the 650 North Avenue, which, if you didn't know, is the entire Ponce City Market. Not just one shop, but the entire complex. Do you understand? So therefore, your fine is a total of $1,000. Once you're on probation, you'll be required to pay a minimum of $100 per month until your $1,000 fine is paid off. And your bench warrant will be dismissed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is positions 37, 38. Mr. Peppers.
Yes.
$37 and $38. Was that correct?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. Bobby Peppers. Okay. And it's going to be a plea. Bobby Jean Peppers is accused of battery from January 17th of 2020, case 20 CR 4102A, and he's accused of disorderly conduct, reckless conduct, and theft by taking from April 19th, 2020, accusation 21 CR 7185A. Mr. Peppers, you've been advised of your rights, and your attorney is Mr. Mazar Jadin. May I place you under oath? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Ms. Harrison?
Yes, Your Honor. For position 27, the count of battery, the state's recommendation is 12 months probation, serve 178 days, credit for time served 89 days. Defendant was incarcerated July 5th through September 14th of 2020, and subsequently again on June 24th of 2025. The balance will be suspended. No further contact with Richard Sewell. A stay away from 5901 Coweta Road, South Fulton. This is a global recommendation with position 38. The recommendation for count 1 in position 38 is 12 months probation, served 34 days, credit for time served 17 days. The defendant has been incarcerated since June 24th, 2025. The balance will be probated. No further contact with Tierra Banks in an 8-week anger management course. Count 2 will merge with count 1, and count 3 will be a 12 months probation concurrent with count 1, completion of an anti-theft course. And we ask that the defendant stipulate to venue, ID, and purposes, and facts of the case for purposes of the plea. And that'll be all for the state, Your Honor.
And Your Honor, defense so stipulates for the purpose of the plea this morning. We would ask that the probation become non-reporting upon completion of all the requirements asked for by the state. And Your Honor, that is all from defense.
Does he have any holds?
I don't believe so, Your Honor.
All right. I have no problem with non-reporting as long as all conditions are completed and probation fees are up to date. Mr. Peppers, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol?
No, ma'am.
Have you understood what's going on in your case?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you satisfied with your legal services?
Yes, ma'am.
If you decide to plead guilty to these charges, you would have to give up your right to a trial in front of a judge or a jury. You will not get the opportunity to confront your accuser, present your own defenses and arguments, and the prosecution won't have to prove the charges beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead to 1 count of battery from January 17th, 2020?
Guilty.
Your sentence is 12 months to serve 178 days? Yeah. Credit for time served 89 days. Balance suspended. No contact with Richard Sewell, and stay away from 5901 Coweta Road in South Fulton. How do you plead to 1 count of disorderly conduct and 1 count of theft by taking?
Guilty.
On the disorderly conduct, the sentence is 12 months to serve 34 days, credit for time served 17 days, balance probated. You will report to probation on Monday. And for this charge, you will have no contact with Tierra Banks. And within 3 months, you will enroll in an 8-week anger management program and complete all 8 weeks of classes without missing or skipping any classes. Count 2 will merge with count 1. Count 3 for the theft by taking, it will be 12 months concurrent with count 1. Within 90 days, you will enroll and complete an anti-theft class. Your probation will be non-reporting once all these conditions are completed and your probation fees are up to date. Thank you.
Next, Judge, I have position number 34, Laney.
All right, Laney is going to be with Mr. Misbeck. Denise Shalija Laney is accused of a misdemeanor offense from February 2nd, 2021. We're going to waive sounding on that charge. Ms. Laney, you've been advised of your rights. Our case is 21 CR 474G. And do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge? Speak up.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Ms. Harrison, we're going to waive sounding on the charge. What is the recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor. The state's recommendation is time served 80 days, credit for time served 40 days. The defendant was incarcerated February 3rd through 4th of 2021 and subsequently from June 3rd of this year. And we ask that the defendant stipulate to venue, ID, and facts of the case for purposes of the plea. That'll be all for the state, Your Honor.
Defense so stipulates for the purposes of the plea this morning. We ask that Your Honor follow the state's recommendation for Ms. Laney.
Ms. Laney, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol? I can't hear you.
No, ma'am.
Have you understood what's going on in your case?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you satisfied with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
If you decide to accept this plea and plead guilty to the charge, you would have to give up your right to a trial in front of a judge or a jury. You will not get the opportunity to challenge it in a court of law, to present your own arguments and defenses, and the state won't have to prove the charge beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead to the charge brought against you?
Yes.
Repeat.
Guilty.
Your sentence is to serve 80 days, credit for time served 40 days, which you have completed. So this case is now closed. Thank you.
Next, our positions 39, 40, Peters.
Good morning.
This is Miss McLeod's client. Would that be correct?
That is correct, Your Honor. Good morning.
Good morning, Miss McLeod. How are we proceeding with Mr. Obehi Peters? I'm sorry.
Your Honor, this is a negotiated plea.
All right, thank you. Mr. Obehi Peters is charged with battery from March 21st, 2023 in case 23 CR 1773C. He has another case from June 3rd, 2025, 25 CR 3153C, in which he's accused of 3 counts of loitering and prowling and 2 counts of willful obstruction of an officer. Mr. Peters, you've been advised of your rights. Your attorney is on the screen. Do you see her? Courtroom 2, we need to unmute, please.
I'm kind of cognizant that I'm aware she's on the visual camera.
Do you see your attorney, Miss Maureen McLeod, on the screen? Miss McLeod, if you could wave your hand in front of you.
I'm aware that I'm cognizant that she's on the camera. Yes, ma'am. She's
Do you see her?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Solemnly sworn and affirm.
Miss Harrison, what is the recommendation?
Your Honor, for position 39, the count of battery, the state's recommendation is 12 months probation, served 258 days. Credit for time served 129 days. The defendant has been incarcerated since March 22nd until currently. The balance will be probated. 12-week anger management. No further contact with James Muchingo. Stay away from Emory University Hospital, located at 550 Peachtree Street Northeast, Atlanta, unless for medical treatment. For position 40, the state's recommendation for count 1 is 12 months probation, served 74 days. Credit for time served 37 days. The defendant was incarcerated since June 4th of 2025. The balance will be probated. No further contact with Garrett Norris or Taylor Morgan or Nancy Martinez Flores, and to stay away from 750 Darrell Rimple Road, Atlanta. Completion of 20 hours of community service. Count 2 will merge with count 1. Count 3 will merge with count 1. Count 4 is 12 months probation concurrent with count 1 and a $300 fine. And count 5 merges with count 1. And we ask that the defendant stipulates the venue, ID, and facts of the case for purposes of the plea. And that'll be all for the state.
We do so stipulate. And Your Honor, I would ask if Mr. Peters' probation can go non-reporting. He's been and of course, and also I would ask that any probation fees be waived because he's not working and he's been essentially locked up for almost a year. It's going to be difficult for him to come out and get established.
Okay. I just want to correct the record, please. I just want to make sure that this 2 cases make sense. For the battery charge, position number 39, this was a March 21st, 2023 incident. He was arrested and booked on March 22nd, 2023, and he was released on July 28th, 2023. So I just want to make sure that that correction is there. He was in custody for 129 days for position number 39. Subsequently, for position 40, he was arrested and booked for 3 counts of loitering and prowling and 2 counts of willful obstruction on June 4th, 2025, and he's been in custody since then for a total of 37 days. So there was a significant gap of time when he was not in jail between the first case and the second case. But the total would be that he's been in custody for 166 days.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay,
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct. And my apologies. I read 2025.
that's fine.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. I was just trying to figure out if he's been in custody all this time, how did he manage to be at Dalrymple Road in June? Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, so now that we've corrected the record with regards to the timeframes, Mr. Masarjadin, given this information, is your client still willing to move forward with the plea?
Your Honor, this is Ms. McLeod's client.
Sorry, Miss McLeod. I'm so sorry.
Yes, Your Honor. Yes.
Okay. And Mr. Peters, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol recently?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Have you understood the nature and the time frame and what's going on in these 2 cases against you?
Confirmed 100%.
Are you satisfied with your attorney?
Satisfied.
Satisfaction. Are you entering this plea to both cases freely, willingly, and voluntarily?
Consent to say yes freely.
Okay. Please understand that if you decide to take this plea, you would have to give up your constitutional right to a trial in front of a judge or a jury. You will not go back to court to confront your accuser, challenge the evidence brought against you, be able to have your attorney assist you to present your legal arguments and defenses, and the prosecution won't have to prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yes.
How do you plead to 1 count of battery from March 21st, 2023?
Son of my lawyer, my attorney, me and her, we passed, we miss speaking about that. Ms. McLeod,
Yes.
in regards to what she's asking, does she need to repeat it or do I need to say it? Battery?
The judge is asking if you are pleading guilty. What is your plea to the charge?
Now that we've spoken to it, guilty.
How do you plead to 3 counts? Oh, excuse me. Well, let me go with the battery conviction first. On the battery conviction, your sentence is going to be 12 months to serve 238 days, credit for time served 129 days. If you have no other holds, you will report to Fulton County Probation on Monday before 3 p.m. Fulton County Probation is located at 132 Mitchell Street. Make sure you are there before 3 p.m. While you're on probation, you will complete 12 anger management classes. They are once a week, and you must enroll in those classes within 3 months of reporting to probation and pay for those classes at your expense. You are to have no contact with James Machungu and stay away from the Emory University Hospital at 550 Peachtree Street in Northeast Atlanta, unless you have a verified medical appointment with one of the healthcare providers or you are seeking emergency health treatment. How do you plead?
Guilty.
No, I haven't asked the question yet.
Okay.
In position number 40, for the incident from June 3rd, 2025, how do you plead to 1 count of loitering and prowling and 1 count of willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer?
Guilty.
How do you plead?
Guilty.
For the loitering and prowling, your sentence is going to be 12 months to serve 74 days, credit for time served 37 days, balance probated. You are to have no contact with Garrett Norris, Taylor Morgan, and Nancy Martinez Flores. You're also to stay away from 750 Dalrymple Road in Atlanta, Georgia. You'll also be required to complete 20 hours of community service at any nonprofit agency that's not a church and not a school. For count 4 is going to be 12 months concurrent with count 1 plus a $300 fine. The 20 hours of community service, you will complete that at a minimum rate of 5 hours per month with any nonprofit agency. And for the $300 fine, you will pay that at a minimum rate of $30 per month until the $300 fine is paid off. I will waive your probation fees for the first 4 months for you to get back on your feet and get a job so that you can pay for your classes, pay for your fine, pay for your, yeah, that's it. And also, once you have completed all your conditions and you're up to date with your probation fees, if any, then your probation will be non-reporting. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Quick question, Your Honor.
Yes?
Clarification about, what was spoken with my attorney, released from here within 24 hours.
You will be released within 24 hours, but you must report to Fulton County Probation on Monday before 3 p.m. If you do not, you'll be back in jail to serve out the rest of the time, the rest of the 1 year in jail.
No further questions. No further questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is, am I doing one? We can go to position 45 and 46, Mr. Smith.
And that's my client, Your Honor, and this should be a negotiated.
This is State versus Devontae Rashad Smith. Mr. Smith has a case criminal trespass causing damage to property from April 19th of this year. Accusation 25 CR 2064B. He also has a bench warrant from June 16th of this year, 25 FTA 1268. Mr. Smith, you have been advised of your rights. Your attorney is Mr. Masar Jadin. And please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Harrison, what's the what's the recommendation?
For position 45, criminal trespass and damage to property, the state's recommendation is 12 months probation, served 24 days, credit for time served 12 days. The defendant was incarcerated April 20th to 21st of 2025 and subsequently on July 1st of this year. Balance will be probated. No further contact with Stephanie Davenport. $150 restitution, 40 hours of community service, and position 46 will be null prost upon the taking of the plea for position 45. And Your Honor, we spoke with the victim today. She did agree with the plea. Other than the restitution, she's not seeking restitution, so we'll leave it to the judge's discretion. And we ask that the defendant stipulates a venue, ID, and facts of the case for purposes of the plea, Your Honor.
The plea recommendation indicated no further violent contact with Ms. Davenport. Has there been a change?
Your Honor, did I say no further contact or violent?
Yes, you did.
I said no further.
I just want to clarify, is it?
It'll be no further violent contact.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you. Mr. Masar Jadin?
Thank you, Your Honor. Defense so stipulates we would ask, in keeping with the alleged victim's wishes, that the requirement for restitution not be placed on Mr. Smith. And additionally, Mr. Smith currently doesn't have any employment lined up for him right when he gets out. So we would ask just for a waiver of the probation fees and charges for 60 days to give him time to find employment to begin paying those fees after his release.
He's only required to do 40 hours of community service. So I'll waive probation fees for the first month. And if he gets the probation fees done by the end of July, then the probation will be non-reporting.
Understood. Thank you.
Mr. Smith, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol?
No, Your Honor.
And have you understood what's going on in your case?
Yes, Your Honor.
And are you satisfied with your attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you decide to plead guilty to this charge, you would have to give up your right to a trial. You will not be able to confront your accuser, challenge evidence brought against you, and the state won't have to prove the charge beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
How do you plead to the count of criminal trespass causing damage?
Guilty.
Your sentence is 12 months to serve 24 days, credit for time served 12 days. The remainder of the time you'll be on probation. You report on Monday before 3 p.m. At all times while you're on probation, you are to have no violent contact with Stephanie Davenport. You can talk to her and communicate with her, but if she doesn't want to have anything to do with you, you have to respect that and walk away. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
You will complete 40 hours of community service with any nonprofit agency. I will waive your probation fees for the month of July. And if you're done with your 40 hours of community service before the end of July, your probation will be non-reporting. But if you're not done, you start paying probation fees from August 1st, 2025 onwards. Your restitution is going to be set aside.
Thank you.
And the bench warrant's dismissed. Good luck.
Thank you.
You send it back. Next, Your Honor, we can go to position number 35, Mr. Mack.
ACDC has left, so I'm assuming they don't have any other cases?
That's correct.
Ms. Tucker, how are we proceeding with Mr. Mack?
Just one moment, Your Honor.
All right, if you want to mute your screen if you're talking. Ms. Lewis, was there a competency calendar?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thought I printed up everything, but I guess I may have run out of paper with my printer.
You got a copy or you need a
No,
floor?
let me see.
Your Honor, I have another client on, Mr. Butts.
Okay, thank you.
Your
All right.
Honor, can we reset Mr. Daniel Mack for next Thursday, the 17th?
Daniel Mack is reset to July 17th, SAP. Let me see, 12 months, 62. All right. The offer is 62 days, credit for time served 31 days, but the defense is asking for a reset. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Yes,
Courtroom 2, if you have Mr.
we do, Your Honor. Position 9 and 10, Mr. Butts.
Also, Mr. McLeod, you also had the other person that we gave from last week, the Ramon Gonzalez. Position 19 and 20 are also yours, Mrs.
Who you
McLeod.
said?
You would need a Spanish interpreter.
For Mr. Butts?
No, the other one that she's speaking about, Mr. Gonzalez Ramirez.
I
Okay.
did not know that.
Position 19 and 20.
All right, Ms. Lewis, maybe we can find someone before the end of the calendar.
Did Ms. McLeod speak to him?
No.
Verify that he's a Spanish interpreter?
Ms. McLeod, is Gonzalez your client?
Not that I'm aware of, Your Honor. I do have to check.
Ms. McLeod, you remember he was reset from last week when you had a dentist and I said, can you take the other
Oh,
case
yes,
on?
that's correct. Yes, I remember now. I'm sorry.
That's okay. If you need to talk to him, then
I do need to speak with him.
Okay, I don't have a interpreter right now, so if the interpreter appears during the calendar, then we'll give you that chance, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Lola, I'll try to reach out to someone right now.
Thank you, Ms. Grace. All right, moving on to Calvin Butts, case 25 CR 1235E, accused of battery family violence from March 8th, 2025. Case number, and then he has a second case from June 15th, 2025, case number 25 CR 3372E, accused of battery, family violence, and simple battery. Let me see one thing. One is with Joe Butts, and the other one is also with Joe Butts. And, okay, those were the two cases against Mr. Calvin Butts. Mr. Butts, you've been advised of your right to remain silent. Your attorney, Ms. Maureen McLeod, is on the Zoom screen. Do you see her?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And Ms. McLeod, how are we proceeding with your client?
Your Honor, we would like to get this case on the first available trial calendar. The state had a plea offer, but we didn't think it was a reasonable offer.
Okay. Are you filing a waiver of arraignment or?
One has already been filed, Your Honor.
Okay. These position 9 and 10 has been arraigned or a waiver has been filed already. And the case is going to be further notice for jail jury. If you're requesting a
Thank you, Your Honor.
warrant, excuse me, if you're requesting a bench trial, Ms. McLeod, please reach out directly to Judge, I need to find out which division this is. This is Division E, and so it's Judge Jane Morrison to get on their bench trial calendar if that's sooner.
Yes, Your Honor, I will do that.
Okay, best of luck.
Thank you.
Okay, courtroom 2, I'm going to give our court reporter a 5-minute recess. So we're just taking a 5-minute recess, okay? Thank you.
I have a question. Is Mr. Butts complete or?
He's done. His case is going to go to trial. And Ms. Tucker, any announcements at the present time before we move on to any of your cases? Any resets or?
No announcements at this time.
All right. Any waiver of arraignments, anything to that effect?
I'm sorry.
Do you want to file a waiver of arraignment in any of the cases?
None at this time, Your Honor.
Okay. When the court reporter comes on, if you all have any to make announcement, then we can. But we're in a 5-minute recess. Thank you. Okay, Miss Howard, we good?
Yes, Judge, thank you.
Okay.
Sorry,
No, that's okay. All right, let's see now. Courtroom 2. If you could unmute, Miss Tucker or Mr. Mazarjadin or Mr. White, who else do we need to address on the calendar?
All right, we can go to position 5, Mr. Booker.
Okay,
It's being negotiated plea, Judge.
thank you. Oh, Mr. White, you were going to talk to another client, something about,
We've got it worked out.
okay. Christopher Booker is accused of loitering and prowling from June 15th of this year, case 25 CR 3344J. Mr. Booker, you've been advised of your rights and your attorney will be Mr. White. May I place you under oath?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay. Ms. Falk?
Yes, Your Honor. On Mr. Booker's case, the state's recommendation is 12 months, serve 60 days, credit for time served 25 days from June 16th, 2025 until today. Balance probated, stay away from 510 Cameron Madison Alexander Boulevard Northwest, and an anti-theft force. We would like to ask the defense to stipulate to venue factual basis and identification for the purposes of the plea. That's all for the state.
We do stipulate, Your Honor, we just ask the probation terminate upon completion of his anti-theft course. He will not be, obviously he's got 5 more days in this case, but he also has another case holding him, so he won't be reporting to probation immediately.
State has no objection.
All right. Mr. Booker, have you completed, have you consumed any alcohol or medicine recently?
No, ma'am.
And have you understood what's going on in your case?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
And if you decide to take this plea, you would have to give up your right to a trial in front of a judge or a jury. You will not go back to a courtroom. You will not confront your accuser, not be able to present your arguments and legal defenses. And the state won't have to prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead to 1 count of loitering and prowling? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. How do you plead to 1 count of loitering or prowling?
Guilty.
Your sentence is going to be 12 months to serve 60 days, credit for time served 25 days. You have 5 more additional whole days to spend at the jail. Once you've completed that, and if all your holds have been removed, then you will report to probation within 48 hours of being released. While on probation, you will stay away from 510 Cameron Madison Alexander Boulevard. My goodness, what a long name. In Northwest Atlanta. Within 90 days of being on probation, you will enroll and complete an anti-theft class. Once you have completed your anti-theft class and you're up to date with your probation fees, your probation will terminate. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Next, we can go to position 21 and 22, Senate lecture. Mr. Hope.
Bryson Hope is accused of battery from 24 CR 04448C from July 6, 2024. And he has a bench warrant 25 FTA 1280 from November 4th, 2024. Mr. Hope, you have been advised of your rights, and may I place you under oath?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
I swear.
Ms. Folk?
Your Honor, which position is this?
21 and 22?
21 and 22.
Yeah.
Okay. I appreciate it. I have about 5 calendars up, so. On position 21, the battery, the state's recommendation is 12 months, serve 60 days, credit for time served 13 days. That will be from June 6th July 6th to July 9th of 2024 and July 2nd, 2025 until today. Balance probated. No further contact with Camille Punjabi. Stay away from the Chevron located at 1217 Metropolitan Parkway Southwest in Atlanta. 40 hours of community service and 12 weeks of anger management. On the next position, the state will be entering a null pros upon the taking of this plea. We do ask the defense to stipulate to venue, factual basis, and identification for the purposes of the plea, and we would like to sound for Mr. Camille Punjabi at this time. That's all for the state.
I see a Mr. Panjwani, but Mr. White?
Your Honor, we do stipulate for the purposes of the plea. He understands he has another 17 days in jail to do. We just ask the probation terminate or go non-reporting upon completion of his requirements.
State has no objection to non-reporting.
Okay. Mr. Hope, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol recently?
Medications.
And are you still able to understand what's going on in your cases?
Yes, ma'am. I have 40 hours of community service and 17 more days to complete until I am released.
That would be correct. 40 hours community service, 17 days. You're forgetting one other one. 12 weeks of anger management classes.
Yes.
So is that your understanding?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And are you satisfied with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
If you decide to plead guilty to this charge, you would have to give up your right to a trial. You will not go back to court to face a judge or a jury, to be able to present your own legal defenses and arguments, to confront your accuser, and the state won't have to prove the charge beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
How do you plead to one count of battery?
I plead guilty.
Your sentence will be 12 months to serve 60 days, credit for time served 26 days. And you will have 17 more days to serve at the Fulton County Jail. After you've completed that time, and if you have no other holds, you'll report to probation within 48 hours of being released. While you're on probation, you are to have no further contact with Camille Panjwani and stay 200 yards away from the Chevron gas station at 1216 Metropolitan Parkway in Southwest Atlanta. You're not allowed in the store, at the parking lot, at the gas tanks, and even on the sidewalk. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Also, you are to complete 40 hours of community service at any nonprofit agency that's not a church or a school, and you have to do that at a minimum rate of 5 hours per month, and enroll and complete your 12 anger management classes within 90 days of being on probation. And you will attend and complete all 12 classes without missing or skipping any of them. Your probation will be non-reporting once you have completed all these conditions and your probation fees are up to date. Your bench warrant will be dismissed.
Understood.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Next, Your Honor, we can go to position 31, Mr. Jackson.
This is Dante Markel Jackson. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Dante Jackson is accused of criminal trespass and willful obstruction from June 27th of this year, accusation 25 CR 3630G. Mr. Jackson, you've been advised of your rights, and your attorney is going to be Ms. Hunter. Ms. Tucker, excuse me. Ms. Tucker, is this a plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Dante Jackson, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Harrison?
Yes, Your Honor. The state's recommendation for count 1 is 12 months probation served, 26 days, credit for time served, 13 days. The defendant was incarcerated On June 27th of 2025, the balance will be probated. A stay away from Midtown Village Apartments located at 140 Pine Street Northeast, completion of 40 hours of community service. And for count 2, willful obstruction of law enforcement, the state's recommendation is 12 months probation concurrent with count 1 and a $300 fine. And we ask that the defendant stipulate to venue, ID, and facts of the case for purposes of the plea. That'll be all for the state, Your Honor.
Ms. Tucker?
We stipulate to the facts for the purposes of the plea. And Your Honor, we do request 3 months of the probation fees to be waived so that Mr. Jackson has time to obtain a job to pay those monthly fees, and that upon the completion of all the conditions that he goes on non-reporting status.
I will waive his probation fees for July and August, presuming that he has no other holds.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Jackson, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol?
No, Your Honor.
And have you understood what's going on in your case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with your attorney? Sorry?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you decide to take this plea, you would have to give up your right to a trial, to confront your accuser, challenge the evidence against you, and have the state prove the charges beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
How do you plead to criminal trespass and willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer?
Guilty.
Your sentence is 12 months to serve 26 days, credit for time served 13 days. If you have no other holds, you should report to probation on Monday before 3 p.m. While on probation, you will stay away from the entire Midtown Village apartment complex at 140 Pine Street in Northeast Atlanta. You will also complete 40 hours of voluntary community service at any nonprofit agency that's not a church and not a school. I will waive your probation fees for July and August of this year. For count 2, your sentence is 12 months concurrent with count 1 with a $300 fine. You'll be required to pay the $300 fine from September 1st, 2025 onwards, and it must be paid at a minimum rate of $50 per month. Thank you.
Next. Position number 8, Mr. Brooks. Come have a seat right here in the green chair.
Jaquavius Bruan Brooke is accused of criminal trespass from June 26th of this year, accusation 25 CR 3604A. Mr. Brooks, you've been advised of your rights, and your attorney is Mr. White. Is this a plea, Mr. White?
It is, Judge.
Please raise your right hand, Mr. Brooks. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Harrison or Ms. Falk?
Would have helped if I had turned on my camera. On Mr. Brooks' case, the state's recommendation is 12 months served 30 days, credit for time served 15 days from June 26th, 2025 until today. Balance suspended, stay away from Shashireka Shetty, located at 4915 State Route 14 in Union City. The state asked the defense to stipulate to venue, factual basis, and identity for the purposes of the plea. That's all for the state.
Okay.
So stipulated, Your Honor, nothing further.
Mr. Brooks, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol recently?
No.
Have you understood what's going on in your case?
Yeah, I understand what everything was said on the TV or whatever that is. I also said something on the phone today.
But do you understand what's happening here for this plea offer? That's all you, yes or no to these questions, okay?
Yeah. So, like, I plead guilty and I leave within 24 hours or 24 hours.
Just as we spoke about, yes.
Do you have any questions to ask of your attorney? Mr. Brooks?
Question as far as what question?
If you don't understand what's going on right now with your case, would you like to ask your attorney any questions?
No.
Okay. As I was saying, are you satisfied with your attorney services?
So, I mean, I should be leaving within 24 hours or 24 hours.
Mr. Brooks, that question is still yes. Okay. We've covered it many times. You need to answer her questions specifically that she's asking now, please. She's asking if you're satisfied with my help and services.
Yep.
And Mr. Brooks, if you decide to plead guilty to the charge of criminal trespass, then you will be giving up your right to take this case to trial. You will not be going back to a courtroom to face a judge or a jury. You will not get a chance to confront those accusing you of this charge. You will not be able to present your legal defenses and arguments with the help of an attorney, and the prosecutor won't have to prove the charge against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yeah.
How do you plead to one count of criminal trespass? Repeat.
Guilty.
Your sentence is going to be 12 months to serve 30 days, credit for time served 15 days. Balance.
What is it?
Mr. Brooks, let her finish.
Okay.
Okay.
As I was saying, your sentence is going to be 12 months to serve 30 days, credit for time served 15 days, balance suspended. In other words, your jail time is finished. This case is closed. You'll be released within 24 hours. However, you cannot return to 4915 State Route 14 in Union City. If you return to that location, you will be arrested again, and we get to do all this all over again. Do you understand? Courtroom 2, please unmute. Do you understand, Mr. Brooks?
Yes, I do understand.
All right. The case is closed.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, I looked over the calendar. All that's remaining are my cases. May ASG Harrison be excused?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we go on to position 23 to 25, Mr. Howard.
Okay. By the way, our bench warrant case is off the calendar, so there's no 33 to 35.
No, 23 to 25.
Oh, I'm sorry, 23 to 25.
Your Honor, this is one that we started with. We got through everything about, except for the no further contact provision. Mr. Howard is, to my knowledge, up to speed and understands.
Okay, good. All right, we are resuming our plea hearing for Montavious Howard, positions 23, 24, and 25. He's got a bench warrant under 25 FTA 1275, a theft by shoplifting in 25 CR 3589C, and a battery family violence in 22 CR 2475C. As I recollect, the prosecutor has already recitated the proposed offer. Hope I remember it. And Mr. White, you have already stipulated to the factual basis, venue, and ID for all his cases, correct?
That's correct, Judge.
Okay. So, Mr. Howard, I'm going to ask you again, just to refresh your memory. Have you consumed any medication or alcohol recently?
No.
I need to speak up. Have you?
No.
And have you understood what's going on in your cases?
Yes, ma'am.
Can't hear you.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with your legal services?
Yes, ma'am.
If you decide to plead guilty to these charges, you would have to give up your right to a trial in front of a judge or a jury. You will not be able to confront your accusers, to be able to go to court and challenge the evidence against you, present your own legal defenses and arguments, and the prosecutor won't have to prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights? I can't hear you.
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead to theft by shoplifting from June 21st, 2025?
Guilty.
How do you plead to battery family violence from April 25th, 2022?
Not guilty.
Repeat.
Guilty.
Sir, speak up. You have a pair of lungs. Speak up.
Guilty, ma'am.
Thank you. On the theft by shoplifting charge, your sentence is going to be 12 months to serve 30 days, credit for time served 15 days, balance probated. If you have no other holds at the jail, let me see, what's the other one, 101 days. Okay, if you have no other holds at the jail, you will report to probation on Monday before 3 p.m. While you're on probation, you will complete 40 hours of community service at a minimum rate of 5 hours per month with any nonprofit agency that's not a church and not a school. You will complete an anti-theft class within 90 days of being on probation. You're also to stay 200 yards away from the Family Dollar Store at 3031 in Main Street. And is this in East Point?
No. Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Falk, is this in East Point? Oh,
I believe so, Your Honor. Let me just go back and double check.
I have an Atlanta address. I'm not sure.
3031 Main Street, is
It's,
that
it's
Atlanta?
East Point. It's East
Oh,
Point.
I'm sorry. I was looking at the second case.
It's East Point.
All right. Now, with regards to his battery family violence conviction, his sentence is going to be 12 months to serve 110 days, credit for time served 55 days. So if he has no other holds, he'll report to probation on Monday because he'll be balance probated. While he's on probation for the battery family violence, he will complete a domestic violence intervention program and have no contact with Angelica Thomas. With regards to the the family violence intervention program, he will enroll in the classes within 45 days of being released, and he will attend and complete all 26 classes at his expense without missing or skipping any classes. He's also to stay 200 yards away, physically, he's to stay 200 yards away from wherever Miss Angelica Thomas is standing. So that means he cannot go to her home, to her place of work, to wherever she's physically standing, and he cannot communicate with her through a phone, a computer device, through a third-party mail, email, and even on social media. And this will be a requirement for the entire time that he's on active probation. He will report to probation every month until all conditions are satisfactorily completed, and even past then until all 12 months are completed. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So,
Yeah.
Oh, and the bench warrant is dismissed. Okay, do we have a Spanish interpreter? No?
No, ma'am.
All right, for deputy, is that Mr. Gonzalez in the courtroom?
Yes, Your Honor.
We're gonna have to reset his case to Tuesday, which is going to be, is it the 15th? And we will have the Spanish interpreter at that time. Miss McLeod? Mr. Gonzalez, do you speak a little bit of English? Or Mr. Masarjuddin, can you let him know his case will be next Tuesday?
Yes, I'll do my best, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, we don't have a bench warrant. I'm just gonna go over the calendar with our add-on case. Ms. Powell, that was a plea. There is no bench warrant matter to address this morning. With regards to the main SAP calendar, position 1, 2, 3 were pleas. Position 4 is null pros. Position 5 and 6 were pleas. Position 7 was null pros. Position 8 was a plea. 9 and 10 is a waiver arraignment and reset for jail jury. Position 11 and 12 are reset to July 17th for a bond hearing with proof of incarceration. Position 13 and 14 release question identity is a big question mark. Position 15, Willie Duffy, 15 and 16. How are we proceeding?
I have a waiver of arraignment, reset jail jury. Is that correct?
Mr. White?
That's correct.
All right. This is waiver of arraignment and further notice for jail jury. Position 17 was a plea. Position 18, Contavious Glass.
I have reset for SAP.
Is that reset to 729? Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Then I have Nicholas Gonzalez Ramirez. And is that the Spanish interpreter case?
Yes, it
Yes,
is.
Your Honor.
Okay, so that's reset to July 15th for an interpreter to be available.
That's gonna be an add-on calendar.
Okay, so that it's going to be position 19 and 20. Position 21 was a plea, 22 was null pros, 23 was a plea, 24 was null pros, 25, 26 were pleas, 27 was a null pros, 28 and 29, F.A. Isabor.
Got reset for July the 24th.
Okay,
That's
reset
position 28, 29, and 30.
and 30. Okay, 724. Position 31, Jackson was a plea. Position 32, Julian Jackson was reset to, I'm sorry, reset to July 17th, correct?
Correct.
And then position 33, Timothy Jackson was released.
Correct.
Denise Laney was a plea.
Correct.
35, Daniel Mack is reset to July 17th. 36, Prayer Moore was a plea. 37, 38 were pleas. 39, Obehi Peters was a plea. 40 was a plea. 41, Peterson was a plea. 42 and 43, Cornell Pierce were pleas. 44, James Scott was a plea. 45, Devontae Smith was a plea. 46 was null pros. 47, Tedrick Whitus, was that a plea?
No, we reset that to the 17th.
Okay, reset to July 17th. And 48 and 49 were released.
Correct.
All right, that concludes our SAP calendar.
Ms. McLeod, we're gonna try to get a Spanish interpreter on Tuesday. I'm sorry, this is like his third reset.
No worries.
Okay, we will have him on the add-on calendar on July 15th.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, let me see now. Anyone who is not involved in the competency calendar, you are free to go. I guess pre-trial, thank you so much. JCS, thank you so much. Ms. Howard, thank you also. You have a great day.
You don't need me for the.
Ms. Falk, is Mr. Grigsby on the competence calendar today?
No, he keeps getting, are we talking about Mr. Grigsby who keeps getting reset from SEA?
Yes.
No, he's set to go, there hasn't been a waiver signed or anything that's happened on him, so he's reset for Friday.
Okay.
All right. Mr. Bartel, is he in courtroom
You
two?
mean tomorrow?
No.
Yes, on SEA. Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Bartel, does he need a court reporter?
Yes, good morning, Your Honor. We don't need a court reporter today, but there aren't any pleas anticipated.
So you don't need a court reporter?
That is correct, Your Honor, we do not.
All right, that's confirmed. Thank you, Ms. Howard.
And Your Honor, if I may briefly, I'm sorry to ask Your Honor and Ms. Lewis to go back over the calendar. I missed the first couple. I was talking to Mr. Gonzalez Ramirez, but just positions 5 through 18, I missed. If I could please.
Position 5 and 6 were pleas. Position 7 was null pros. 8 was a plea. 9 and 10 are waivers of arraignment and further notice jail jury. 11 and 12 are reset to July 17th. 13 and 14 were release identity in question. 15 and 16 were waiver arraignments, further notice for jail jury. 17 Evans is a plea, and 18 is reset to July 29th.
Thank you so much, Your Honor.
No problem. All right, Mr. Patel.
Good morning.
We don't have the pressure of a C calendar, so after this, so everyone's looking forward to an early lunch. All right, Mr. Bartel, let's see.
Judge, can we start the live stream for YouTube?